Hello, this is RJ City, and I am ethically opposed to any more wrestling podcasts. I don't know why you guys are talking about wrestling. It is a niche product. It is a very small industry. Yet, at this point, there's more wrestling podcasts than there are wrestlers. There is something wrong with society as a whole, but as you get smaller and smaller into wrestling, and then the wrestling podcast sphere, it gets even worse. And one such example, if I may turn on the microscope and look at the drudgery that happens to be Tru Heel Heat. SP3, Sid, this is your fault.
John Cena's career is over. He tapped out to Gunther in his final match. But why is Triple H getting all the heat for it? Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat, YouTube and Facebook for our WWE Saturday Night's Main Event 2025 review, breaking down the final Saturday Night's Main Event of the year with John Cena's final match against the ring general, Gunther. And of course, to discuss it all, to break it all down for you all, I am joined by my esteemed colleague. He is my co-host over on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast, and someone who is very excited to talk about John Cena's final match and what went down last night in Washington, D.C., the one and only Tru Draw himself. Josh, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Honestly, last night, man, I thought I would get a little emotional, but then emotions became lots of laughter because, man, everything post-match. Whew, that's what everybody's talking about. That's how you know that's not a great thing. Everybody's talking about that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, man, I feel for John. I wanted John Cena us to be emotional. I wanted us to have this emotional, tearful goodbye. I wanted WWE fans to have what we were able to get when we went to Greensboro, North Carolina last year and got to say bye to Sting. But as we got closer to the last night's show, I realized more and more, I was like, this isn't that company. That's not what they're about. I was like, as soon as I came on the show, the watch along last night, I was like telling Romeo, because Romeo was big onto John Cena's gonna win. I was like, this ain't that company, man. This ain't that company. Like, I was the guy who was first predicting. Me and you were the first guys on the channel that were predicting Cena should win his final matchup. But like, I just got overwhelmed with the truth. The truth set in just before the bell rang for me.
Yeah, and then even when we were making our predictions, like I said myself, I was like, I gotta believe, I gotta like not give up, right? That's basically why I chose Cena, because I'm like, you know, if they want to write off what they did this year with him, a win would have been a nice send off. You know, at least, you know, you're talking about goodwill with the fans, goodwill with everything that was going on this weekend. Him winning would have made sense in that aspect. Storyline wise, I get what they're doing. That this has nothing to do being against Gunther. I understand why they did what they did, right? And something that Triple H did bring up about that is tradition, right? It's tradition for the guy to put over the next generation, whatever the case may be. I understand that, right? At the same time, this is the same motherfucker who breaks tradition his own way. So now all of a sudden we gotta follow tradition. All of a sudden, like that's a thing. Miss me with that bullshit.
It's also a tradition, Josh. On a retirement tour, you should let the hero be the hero at least once. Cena was not that any of the time. And we're going to talk more about that and what the reaction was last night. And of course, John Cena's final matchup. But we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. You can drop the thumbs up on the video. That helps us out so much. Helps out the YouTube algorithm and other wrestling fans like yourself see this video here. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, you should hit the subscribe button. We are here pretty much every day with content, whether it's pre-recorded, whether it's a clip from one of our live streams or one of our extensive live streams that we do here for every major WWE, AEW, New Japan, and TNA premium live event or pay-per-view. You can see us here like WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified as we're heading into the new year. And of course, you can sound off in the comment section if you're watching us on demand. Let us know what you think. Did you think that the fans were right to boo Triple H last night? Were they right? Did WWE choose the right result? Was that the right finish for John Cena's career in his final matchup against Gunther? Let us know. Have your voice be heard in the comment section and most of all, in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys. You can sound off there. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible, but we're honestly not able to. So if you want to make sure your comment is highlighted on screen, you want to show your support to this video and to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got our good brother, Call Me Mr. Bonda, in the chat. Thank you, Call Me Mr. Bonda. You actually also sent us a super chat yesterday to end the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. So thank you so much for your support yesterday as well as today. We'll read out your super chat from yesterday as well, or I think Josh is pulling it up for us now, but I'll read this one here. Let me
read that one.
Victory lap, Duvork, Symphony number 9, laughing emoji. You should take your victory lap because, Call Me Mr. Wanda, one thing you've been consistent with is your hatred of nostalgia acts and older wrestlers. So I know that yesterday was a good day for you to see Cena tap out and leave for good and retire, or so we think. Because WWE, I tend to always believe WWE, you never know if these retirements are for sure. So what did he say yesterday, Josh?
So in his super chat, he wrote, "If Oba don't get over, the future of WWE is cooked."
And that's why it's appropriate that we read that today instead of yesterday, because they went the most predictable route possible. They weren't gonna freaking have Obafemi beat Cody Rhodes, even though we all know that would have been probably the best result possible, because that would have put over Oba. Cody doesn't lose anything, and you set something up for the future. Their way, everybody looks strong, I guess. Drew was the dick and gets the heat for interrupting the matchup. And that's a mood point. Like, that's like the 5th most important thing that happened on the show.
That's crazy.
Yes. We got Negro Buck in the chat who says Josh grinning from ear to ear. You should have saw yesterday's watch party. Oh man, y'all were all commenting on me. Like I did, it was just my natural reaction. It wasn't even like I was doing it on purpose because I'm on camera. It was just my natural reaction to hearing, to feel so vindicated. I felt vindicated, Josh. I was like, for all the times that I've complained about Paul Levesque and his booking, it felt real good to feel like the rest of the world sees what I see. Who made a bunch of wrong decisions, which led to the reaction that he got last night.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. And this is something that we've been talking about Triple H, where, you know, for me, when he came into creative, I was one of those. I was like, you know what? I'll wait and see what he does, because it's a different animal going from NXT, controlling NXT, creatively, to the main roster. Obviously, in the main roster, there's a lot of people you're not going to make happy, and that's the reality of the situation. So, I wanted to wait and see what he does. And, for a while, it took a while. It took a while for him to finally get into things. And then when he did, you did see the difference. Like, you did see what he did change. You did see the difference. My whole thing was more of the, everybody, jumping on board of like, oh my God, he's the greatest booker that WWE has ever had. Or like kind of like over what do you call that? Overhyping him to an extent, where it's like, hey guys, like, he's doing good. Can we just like calm down a little bit? Like, he's still making some mistakes, right? And then little by little, obviously there were some things that came into his favor. The bloodline came into his favor. We gotta call it like it is when it comes to that. And then once he got away from the bloodline stuff, we kind of saw like, oh, this guy he's not that creative. Even when it came to like the Judgment Day stuff, like the Judgment Day stuff was cool, but then it got to a point where it started running its course. And then when they split them up, the Rhea and Damian stuff was cool at the moment, but then it was like, oh my God, this is 3 months in. Where is this going to end? Like, this man has beaten all these motherfuckers in the stable. What are we doing? Like, why is this like a thing? Like, why can't we just get away from it? And then basically that was it was downhill from there, because it's like, you see that they focus on moments. You see they do this. They usually don't follow up. They don't have good follow-ups, and that's been the main problem too. It's like, oh yeah, let's have a great moment, and then the follow-up has been shit. So what's the point of having a moment when the follow-up is complete shit?
It's something that it came right into the forefront last night, where last night it was the wrong results. Like, I know there's people that believe that maybe he should have passed out. Like, we got MCats here in the chat who says, don't mind the loss, but should have passed out and not given up. He killed his whole gimmick, SMH. By the way, why does WWE hate kids? Which is hilarious to me. But yeah, we have to realize, okay, so we got the freaking Royal Rumble, right? Was the first matchup for John Cena in this retirement tour. He makes it all the way to the end, and then he loses. Then Elimination Chamber, he takes advantage of Seth and Punk's rivalry. He gets the win, and then 5 minutes later, he turns heel. And then we get a 4-month heel run. Then he turns babyface on the SmackDown before SummerSlam. We get the big entrance when the colors come back, and he comes out at SummerSlam and has a great performance against Cody. That was cool. And then he had the Brock Lesnar matchup where he just gets squashed, and people were sad and people were depressed. Then he faces AJ Styles in another kind of babyface versus babyface battle, similar to SummerSlam. Great matchup. But like, it's babyface versus babyface. You're not allowing Cena to be the hero. You're not allowing Cena to be Super Cena. Your Cena's winning, but it's not winning the way that like we grew up watching of him being the hero who overcomes the odds, comes from underneath and gets the win. Never give up, getting the win. We didn't get that in the AJ Styles win. We didn't get that throughout the heel run. We didn't even get that in the one win that he had before he turned heel at Elimination Chamber. Then he wins against Dom in the Intercontinental Championship on an episode of Raw in Boston. That's a nice moment. But Dom's not really kind of like the biggest heel to me. He was getting big cheers. He's kind of the cool heel. He's the very popular cool heel. So he had a couple of matches with him. But like really, when you look at the whole retirement tour, it was all used to set other things up. Like, especially 2 of his last 3 losses. The Brock Lesnar win, like he said, was to build the mountain of Brock Lesnar heading into his final year. And the loss against Gunther is probably to set up a Gunther versus Brock Lesnar matchup. So 2 of his 3 losses, 2 of his 4 total losses of his retirement tour were used to set up Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania 42 matchup. Then the rest of the time, he was used to kind of cement Logan Paul as a WWE superstar, or he's here to cement Dominic Mysterio is a future star for the company, or he's here to be the vehicle, the platform for R-Truth return after the company fucked up and fired him for no reason. And then you get the nostalgia rivalries with Randy Orton and CM Punk, and that's the year. Mind you, I never said John Cena was the hero that we grew up. He never was allowed to do it. Thus, that's what I was saying in my tweet last night. The booking of this entire retirement tour necessitated we get John Cena to be the hero once. If you're not going to do it the whole entire retirement tour, that's why fans expected it in the retirement match.
Yeah, I think fans expected that, but I think it's also like just a combination of everything. That's what the reaction we did, because the retirement tour wasn't what people expected, and we were saying this yesterday. It was just poorly booked. It was poorly booked. It was poorly planned. And Cena basically, didn't outright say that. But he basically confirmed it in his interviews, where it was like, oh yeah, these are the times that we have to pivot. That's crazy to me. You had a whole year to plan, and you just had no plan. You had no plan. You had 36 dates. John Cena wanted to do more, by the way. He wanted to do more dates. You only gave him 36. You like, oh no, you know what? We're going to use the 36. And then, when R-Truth got fired, I mean, not fired, when they decided not to renew his contract, apparently the rumor was that Triple H got upset because they had to change creative plans based off of that, right? But then it's like, what the fuck were you going to plan that was going to be better than that anyway? I don't have no confidence that anything was going to be better than that, And then even with that, the whole thing with R-Truth itself, right? We were supposed to get this new Ron Killings character. Instead, we went back to R-Truth being R-Truth because John Cena became face again. So, yeah, like that's part of the thing too. Like overall the year, like what the fuck, But a lot of people, I think, honestly, if John Cena would have won yesterday, again, you would have had a lot of people probably wouldn't even complain about his retirement tour at all. You would have been like, you know what? He got his win. He won his final match. That's all that matters. That was a time to probably do it based off of that. Like, if you want fans to feel good and, have a nice send off, should have pulled the trigger on that. As far as how I feel about it, I'm not really upset about the result. To be honest with you, I'm not upset about the result, but I just felt like this was the time to do something different and, the way that you did it. But then also, even after the fact, there was no speech, there was no music, it was flat. But too
Felt
many
kind of
people
flat.
were, yeah, you know, and then people were just pissed off. And then even the footage after the fact of the crowd, holy, you know, our good brother Sober Guy was there, Jaquan was there, you know, and he took that video of all the fans chanting "Fuck you, Hunter." Like, what does that tell you? Now people can say, yeah,
This is the thing. People want to focus on the fact that yes, the result got booed, but what got booed more, the result or the booker? The booker got booed more. That is not good. That is not, like everybody wants to create this combo of like, oh man, it's setting Gunther up for some big things in the future. I'm okay with this. I'm fine with this. Well, Gunther is not getting all the heat. Gunther is getting a portion of the heat because he was the guy who tapped Cena out, but more of the heat is going on the company and the booker. That is not what the company intended.
yeah, you know, and it's kind of crazy because I think like even yesterday, like I believe it was John Elba who made that tweet about like, oh, that the company just made Gunther into legendary status. I was like, did they know? Did they? That's yet to be seen. Because you could try to convince me otherwise. I know what he's trying to do, and I know what he's trying to convince himself with that. I just didn't see that last night. Yeah, he retired Cena, but it's like nobody's talking about Gunther beating him. What was the difference between when Brock Lesnar ended the streak? People were talking about Brock Lesnar being the one ending the streak. Nobody's like, oh, Vince McMahon, he made Taker lose. Like, why did he do that?
Yeah.
No. People were focused on Brock Lesnar ending the streak. Like, that's the
Brock and Heyman got all the heat for that. Vince did not get any heat for that. The company did not really get any heat for that. Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar got all the heat for that. That's why I didn't understand. Like we had Romeo in our chat, and then I saw Conrad Thompson saying that it felt like the Undertaker's streak breaking. I was like, nah, it was kind of its own thing. We don't need to like just initially just go, oh, let's compare it to the last thing where they went and they really filmed these shocking looks on the fans' faces. And it's like, no, like the look on the fans' faces where their jaws were on their head, they were in disbelief. And yeah, you had some Cena fans that were upset in the crowd, but that was more sadness and disappointment more than it was utter shock and silence of, I don't know what just went down. And then the boos came. The boos only came with that when 21-1 shows up on the screen. Then they know it's real, and then they boo.
Yeah, you know, and yesterday when Romeo brought it up, I said no, and I made the comparison, right? This is what I said. I said when it came to Taker and Brock, in our brains, and a lot of us in our brains, we had it already like, all right, Taker's going to win, right? They're not going to end the WrestleMania streak. I think they're going to have it going. So in our brains, we felt like Taker was going to win some way, somehow, right? And then when it didn't happen, it was just complete, utter shock because we thought one way it was going and it didn't happen. That's the shock, right? And I compared it to a Game 7 of the World Series. The fans in Toronto were excited. Ninth inning, they were excited. They got the first out. People are hyped. People are excited. Second batter comes in, 3-2 count, boom, home run. What happens? The freaking air left the building. People were shocked because they're like, wait a minute, the game is tied now. We were 2 outs away from the World Series. Everybody was shocked. And then when the last moment in the 11th inning, when they lost, in the double play, when they lost, that sadness. That's what the Cena fans yesterday in that building were. It wasn't the fact that they were shocked. It was the fact that they were depressed. Like they were like sad because they wanted the result that they wanted being in the building and they didn't get the result. It's a lot different. But then also the biggest difference, and me and you have been saying it, what's the biggest difference about everything when it comes to Vince and Triple H? Vince always was behind the scenes. Once in a while you get Vince on screen, but he was always behind the scenes. He never did
Especially
interviews. He was
the
never
latter half of his run as head booker. So
yeah, yep. Like he doesn't do interviews. He doesn't do anything. So you don't see Vince. You don't. There's times where you don't even see him. And guess what? The heat was on Brock. The heat was on Heyman. But the difference is too is that they made Brock a world beater to the point that he was not only beating everybody, but then the moment that he got the world championship back, it was in a fucking squash match against John Cena. Ironically, like they propped him up to be that thing. But my thing is like even going forward with Gunther is like, what's next for him? Are you just gonna have him be the guy to retire everybody? You gonna have him retire AJ Styles? You're gonna have him retire if Chris Jericho comes back. You're gonna have him retire Chris Jericho. You're gonna make him to the new Legend Killer. I know people like the idea, but then for me is like, what's the substance behind it? Like, you know, like, are you gonna make him the champion, the WWE champion, not the world heavyweight champion? Like, what's next for that? You know?
yeah, it's very true. Like, what direction do you go? Yes, you could say he got made into a mega heel, a legendary heel. But yeah, it just adds to a legendary resume. It doesn't make him a legend. It doesn't put him at a mega heel. He was already the top heel in the company. You just got him more heat. Like, you didn't do anything that wasn't already in place last night with the win that Gunther got over Cena. That's why I made the argument going into the matchup that Gunther doesn't really need the win. He doesn't need the win. People can say, oh, he's now rehab from the loss against Jey Uso at WrestleMania. Well, he kind of was rehab when he beat Jey Uso back for the title. Like, what are y'all talking about? Oh, he lost the world title again. Well, then he just wiped through a whole tournament. Like, what? Like, y'all are saying things like it did not. They have not done things to rehab him already. So it is what it is. I gotta give shout out to Rachel in the chat. Anytime she be giving her takes, I'll be like, she's on point. She says, what can we all say he creatively did great that he didn't inherit from Vince outside of the Punk versus Drew? But that didn't even amount to anything for Drew. Also, the bloodline is Roman and Heyman, not Triple H. 1000%. I've been saying that. What? Yep. How many years now that this is more Roman and Heyman?
It was inherited.
Triple H. It was inherited to him from Vince McMahon. And then the Punk and Drew stuff, that was kind of just fell in his lap because that doesn't happen. That feud doesn't happen if Drew doesn't injure Punk in the Royal Rumble. Like that all comes out of him getting injured in the Royal Rumble and Drew McIntyre, like a lot of people have said, Drew McIntyre did all the hard work. Drew McIntyre is the one who continued that feud on social media and kept mentioning Punk in promos. It was Drew McIntyre that really made that whole program work. It wasn't necessarily these great genius booking and storyline ideas that Triple H came up with. It was more of the work of Punk and Drew than the creative around it.
Yeah, you know, and that was part of the thing too when I said like the bloodline was basically handed to him. You know, in regards to that, like, did he tweak things? Yeah. Did he make things better? I believe so. Especially, you know, I do think he made things. You could say he made things better, but was he the creator of it? No. It's kind of like, you know, I want to compare it to the Celtics when this dude got fired and then Missoula took over, right? Missoula inherited a great team. Like, it wasn't like everything was Missoula. He inherited a great team, and then he implemented some of his things, some of his style of what the Boston Celtics were already doing, and he did end up winning a championship. But you know, and that's kind of similar with Triple H. He was given a bloodline storyline that was already strong. It was the strongest storyline before he took over. And, you know, there are things that he did do better, but even the ending of that was like he was over it. We saw the Netflix special, and then the first night of Netflix post show, he was over it. He didn't want to talk about it no more. So it was like, hey, right?
Yeah, he's always very much like that. It's all about It's all about the game and how you play it, as the song says. We got a difference of opinion, and we love that in the chat. If you like what you like, you could say your opinion in the chat as long as you're nice about it, not a dick to anybody. We always respect the difference of opinions here. We got Nate who says, or Nate Dog, who says, the tap out was beautiful. Cena didn't tap out on the match. It was a tap out on his entire career. His time is done and he's at peace with it. I agree. That tap out and the idea of it, the result is beautiful, because it is like him finally being like, my time is up, your time is now. I'm basically settled in like the future. The present is in good hands. I can now give up. I don't have to keep the same mantra anymore. I can just give up and I'm at peace with a smile on my face. But I think Ali Davis on Wrestle Talk, he said it best. It was the right result with the terribly wrong build. Like, that is the issue. That is why it got the reaction that it did. It's the build. It's not the result. The result would have got booed regardless, because the hero is losing in the end. But you're not getting this nuclear heat that Triple H got if it has a better build.
Yeah, a better build. And this is something that I said yesterday, where I was in the chat and I was like, I honestly believe that if Cena doesn't turn heel, or even if he turns heel, and that would have been if he doesn't lose to Brock, if he doesn't lose the amount of matches that he did, if he doesn't lose to Dom, do I think we get the reaction post match that we did yesterday? I believe we don't, because I believe that if you would have kept Cena strong, you would have kept him in a winning streak. It would have kind of been similar to like what they did with Ric Flair. Obviously, with the Ric Flair thing, that was more story-based line, where it was like, the next time you lose, you're done. Like, you had to retire, whatever the case may be, right? So Ric Flair had this long, incredible run, in my opinion, for somebody his age, that he didn't lose. And by the time that he did lose, it meant something. And you saw the emotion, even when Shawn Michaels took him out, because Shawn Michaels knew what he had to do, right? But that time, Ric Flair was winning. There was a winning streak that was going, and by the time Ric Flair put over Shawn Michaels, it was over. And I felt like if you would have done that with John Cena, if you would have been in Brock, even if you keep the title on him, the IC title, you make it an IC title match, whatever the case may be, at least you're giving it back to the guy who was the longest reigning IC champion. In a sense, I believe that if you would have kept him strong, you would have kept him in a winning streak, and then you have him lose in his last match, and the way that he lost, I think that would have told a better story.
Yeah, like the real point of contention, I really feel that WWE would have got over the botched heel run if they never did the Brock squash. The Brock squash is like, it's like egregious. That is egregious to do in the Cena retirement tour. To use John Cena to prop up somebody that is his fucking peer. Like, it's not anyone on the rise. The Dom loss, that's fine. That's someone that's on the up that can use that to elevate themselves. Gunther, he becomes a legendary heel because of that win. Cody cements himself as the top guy. That Brock loss did fucking shit. Like, I have to raise my voice because, like, it's that much. That did nothing. That did nothing but ruin the John Cena retirement tour. More than the heel turn, John Cena getting squashed by Brock Lesnar on that ESPN premiere WrestlePalooza is the worst decision of the retirement tour, and it might be the worst decision in Triple H's run as a booker.
Shit, I mean, man, I can't even disagree with that, because when I saw that and I heard like the result, because remember, All Out was going on, and I was like, I'm not watching that match. Like, we already knew that was opening, but then what I heard after the fact, they said it went 7-8 minutes and it was nothing. I was like, why would I want to tune into that? And and then even with the fact of the whole Dom stuff, I was never against Dom losing. I mean, winning back the title. I was never against it, and I've been very open about that. And then even the way they did it, yeah, there were some hiccups, but it was overly booked, but it fits the character. The problem I have is that you had Dominic beat John Cena while there was a tournament to determine who was going to face John Cena in his last match. Yet you had the man lose, even though he has a tournament to whoever's going to face him. What the fuck? When I brought that up yesterday, Jaquan didn't even like register it until like I said it. And he's like, oh my God, you're right. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with this company? Like, that's how bad it was. There's people who don't register that. And I'm like, do you realize how bad that is? Like, you had a tournament, which, I mean, give or take, people were saying that the tournament was terrible. Gunther had the best matches in the tournament. So I'll take that. If that's what I get out of it, I'll take that. I don't give a shit about Zack Ryder. I don't give a shit about Dolph Ziggler. They're both certified losers. I don't care that they showed up. Nothing happened for them. They came back to WWE to be losers. That's all that happened. So I don't care about that. But the fact that you had a tournament to determine this man's last match, which you didn't need to do the tournament to begin with. You didn't need a tournament. But yet you decided to do one anyway for whatever the fuck reason. And then you still had them lose while the tournament's going on. What the fuck?
That's why I went on the whole rant at the end of the show. I was like, you see, Romeo, they don't need to give you what you want. They don't need to pay fan service. They already got your money, nigga. They don't care. They don't care.
It's true though.
Care. He laughed. He got booed out the building and he laughed in their face because he charged them all that money and they booed him.
I think that shit settled in once he was in that post show. That shit, he was rattled as fuck. And anybody could try to say, oh, where was he? He was making, like, no. You could tell when somebody jokes and when they're upset, they're trying to use the jokes to try to filter out how they really feel. That's what he was doing. It's not a good thing. He was rattled. He really did not expect that. He did not expect that. That's why
he went. His defense mechanism, and we've always seen this from Triple H for years, is if he feels kind of like pressured or feels like his back against the wall or feels any kind of like nervousness or rattledness, he goes to jokes. And as soon as he says, oh, he was like, are you surprised by the boos? He was like, no, I thought they would have been louder. And then he kept looking back at them booing. And I was like, yeah, he's rattled. He made the joke and then he's still looking back. Like, if he makes the joke and he just goes on with the interview and he's not paying attention to it, then you could say he's not rattled. He definitely looked rattled. To anyone who's seen Triple H for years, it was obvious.
And Triple H is the type of guy that says that he doesn't care and he actually really cares. And he shows it in different ways that he shows that he cares. Last night was an indication that he cared. When he was laughing, you know, that was so, I mean, it was funny, but then it was kind of awkward. I was like, this motherfucker laughing. They have on a big screen. He's laughing, and you see all the people getting angry because you're putting a shit grin on your face, hugging the man that you just had lose. You know,
and you're taking the spotlight away from him again.
Yo, it was crazy because yesterday I even made that comment when he was first coming out. I was like, oh, look, he's making it about himself again. And then I found out that he was getting booed. And I was like, wait, what? And I put it on mute so I could hear. I was like, oh, shit. He's actually getting booed. And then when he got on top of the rope, it got louder.
When he got on the apron, they just said, boom! You fucked up! I was like, holy shit. Like, and I love like Romeo. Romeo's hilarious. Romeo, I'm like, this is like the biggest indictment to Triple H has, but oh no, I don't think it's that big a deal. Like, dude, this is John Cena's retirement. The fans couldn't just let it go or save it for the next time they see him. They had to let him know right here, right now, during John Cena's moment, you fucked up. That's an indictment. That,
No, it is.
that you are getting court papers. You are in court after that. Like you, this is the fans telling you you did not do well. You messed up. And that as loud as they possibly can in front of one of the biggest audiences of the entire year.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, you know, obviously Romeo is a Triple H guy, so I think he was trying to like navigate it, but it's like you can't navigate this. Everybody's booing him out of the fucking building. There's no really defending it, and the reason why there's no defending it is because, like I said, this is on management. And not only, I'm not saying that the decision of John Cena losing is on management. What I'm saying is the reaction and what happened is on management, because you guys have made it to a point when it comes to WWE is that you guys want all the attention. You guys go to media, you want to talk about it. Every time Triple H goes on media, he wants to talk about it. He gets the reaction that he gives. You know, then you do a show like Unreal, where you basically pull back the curtain, and then now people know what you're doing. All right, you're the one that books. You're the one that's making the decisions. You know what? I'm gonna boo the fuck out of you when I see you. And guess what? That's what happened. That's on management. That's on management because you made fans comfortable enough that they always see you, right? You had goodwill with your fans. They always saw you, but now they know the truth of, all right, he's the one that's actually making the decisions. All right, he's the one that's pulling the strings. All right, he's the one that's doing this. And then that's the result that we got last night, because they saw you and their favorite lost because they feel like you're the one that made that decision. You know, people are saying, oh, you know, this was Cena's call. We don't fucking know that. At the end of the day, we still don't know if it was Cena's call, if it was Triple H's call, right?
But
At the
even if
same
it
time,
was
yeah.
Cena's call, this is the thing. Like, this is another example, and this seems to be happening a lot lately, of like these counter programming. Like we talked about the whole Blood and Guts being 2 weeks before Survivor Series hurt Survivor Series. We talked about yesterday on the flagship podcast how Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement tour being parallel to Cena's retirement tour it makes WWE pale in comparison. And this is another case of it here where like it's all on Triple H, and it's all on the fact that other people have done this better. They have done everything that Triple H is doing better than him, and it's a direct comparison, so it makes them look inferior because he's not able to do it the same.
Yeah, you know, and it's just, you know, at the end of the day, and like I've been saying, he's gonna get the blame, and I do blame him for that, because he, at the end of the day, it's his final call. He's the one that's making that decision, right? It's like when TK makes weird decisions, we put the blame on him because he's made it clear, like, I'm the one that makes the final decision.
Yeah, and that's what I was bringing up, that TK did this last year. Sting wanted to lose his final matchup, but TK is the one who has the final call. So regardless of people who want to say, oh, Cena made this call, Cena wanted to do this, Cena wanted to do this, Triple H is the one who makes the final call. It's not up to Cena. It's not. Cena has said time and time again, whatever they want to do, I'll just say yes. So if they wanted him to win last night, he would have just said yes.
You know, it's true. And, you know, even when Sting's retirement run was going on, right? I thought that Sting was going to lose when it came down to it, because he was having this big winning streak, and then he was facing the Young Bucks, who are, you know, premier tag team. You know, so I felt like, all right, this is probably going to be it for Sting. He's probably going to put over the Bucks, right? So when he won, I was shocked. Like, I was more shocked that he won. I was happy that he won. I was gonna be happy either way, but it's the fact that TK made it a point that it was like, you know what, Sting, you were never truly respected in your field of work. You were never truly, you know, you should have had a better run in WWE. You know, you should have, you know, you were always a guy who was very selfless. You know what? We got to do this. We got to do this favor for you. You know, and he went out of AEW 29-0. Like, he did not lose a singles match, right? It was all tag team matches, never lost. You know, they did that right. They did that right because Sting never took away from other people. And that was the biggest thing too. He never took away from other people, you know. And that's why people were like last night, not only people chanting AEW in that post show, but people were like, Cena should go to AEW. He will get a better. Obviously, it's a joke because he's not going to be able to go to AEW. But you see how the legends have been treated better. Like, you see people who have goodwill with the fans have been treated. Samoa Joe is the current AEW champion, and it was the first time in any company he became a 2-time world champion in any capacity. What does that tell you? Right, about that? Shelton Benjamin, you know, Shelton Benjamin has been underutilized for his in-ring stuff, and in AEW he looks like a complete different guy. Like, what does that tell you? You know what I mean? So yeah, like,
We'll, of course, talk more about Cena and Gunther and the match itself. We just wanted to have this bigger discussion with y'all guys to start off everything. So keep coming with those comments in the live chat. Keep coming with those super chat donations. We always appreciate all the support that we get in the chat. Like our good brother, the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, who says, LOL, is Romeo Triple H's lawyer now? Laughing emoji. He tries. He does try.
He tried a little bit, but he didn't. I'll give him credit. He didn't give pushback the way that he usually gives pushback. So I'll give him credit for that. It was more of the fact that he said he was entertained by the boo. He was like, he thought it was funny. And we all thought that was funny too. You know, but when we were discussing it, you know, obviously the only one who was truly angry was Chase. Because all of us like, hey, we would have been fine if Cena won. We would have been fine if Gunther won. Like, it's either way, we would have been fine. Chase was the one that was really angry about it.
Yeah, Chase was pissed. Chase was pissed last night.
Yes. When we spoke about it in the chat, you know, he did see like my perspective. Like, he did see my points that I made about Gunther, where I was like, you know, if Gunther loses, I thought that would have been more interesting because then there's a sense of like you have to build him back up. There's a sense of urgency with Gunther to bring him back up. And while you have Dominic Mysterio, who could be the shit stick heel, brag, I retired Cena, the point that you made yesterday in the podcast. Like, I love that freaking idea. I thought that would have been gold. That you had Dominic bragging that he's the one that retired Cena because he beat him in his last match. Like, he's the one that defeated him. That would have been like a nice route to go because not only you're building up two guys, like you're having a guy that needs a storyline. Gunther needs something creatively, and then you have Dom, who's, you know, you already propped him as to be this greatest luchador. He has the IC title. He wins. He cheats to win. This is another way to just add to the layer of Dominic Mysterio to be the fucking piece of shit. That would have been great, in my opinion.
I agree. That's why I sold myself on the idea, and then as soon as I came on the watch along last night, I was like, that shit ain't happening. We got a super chat donation. We got a super chat donation from Evan. Thank you so much, Evan Rogers, new face in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see all the new faces in the chat. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We're here with content like this after every WWE premium live event and AEW and New Japan and all the major promotions. So join us, and thank you so much for the super chat donation. Evan saying, I feel like I watched a funeral. The magic is dead. And yeah, this is like, this is what a lot of people are feeling like. And I just wanted it. I knew it would kind of be like bittersweet or a little bit sad of seeing Cena go. But yeah, if it was a different result than what we got, I think that there would be some happiness and be like, oh yeah, it's great. He gets to go out into the sunset. I wanted a little bit of that feeling that we had at the end of AEW Revolution, but I then thought about it. I was like, outside of Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, I've never felt that with WWE. Ric Flair was something else completely, and then he diminishes that 1 year later. And Shawn, it was like, you shouldn't really be going. You're still the best here. Why are you going? Like, it was more like, I don't want you to go because I still feel like you could give more. It wasn't that like, hey man, you've done enough. You could go out into the sunset. Good to see you and stuff. And that's what I really wanted for Cena here, and it just wasn't that.
Yeah. But we'll get into it because, man, I still got some thoughts on it. It's just, yeah, this is creative. That's all I got to say.
Creative. Andrew Brown, another new face. Thank you so much for the super chat donation. He says, I think WWE wants Gunther to become the new Brock. And that's why I think that's what they have set up with these two losses, with Brock building the mountain that is Brock Lesnar by beating Cena at WrestlePalooza, and Gunther being the last guy to beat Cena. Now Gunther has retired both Cena and Goldberg in one calendar year. Who is another famous person that has very famous rivalries and victories over John Cena and Goldberg? Brock Lesnar. It seems pretty obvious that's where we're intended, because that was also the match they had planned ahead of WrestleMania 40 before Brock was in the lawsuit for Janelle Grant. It was supposed to be Gunther and Brock at that WrestleMania. So they're going to probably do it at this WrestleMania, and they set it up through John Cena, unfortunately. Here we are. All right, let's get into the show finally. We took so much time talking about that because John Cena is the focus of the show. So we'll took in a lot of time at the beginning of the show. We'll take some time at the end of the show to talk about the matchup and how everything ended. To kick off the show, we see various legends are here for Cena's final matchup. Trish Stratus, Kurt Angle, Mark Henry. Then we get a video package. And I'll give you one guess, people at home. Who narrated this video package? Triple H. Guys, he didn't really want to do it. He was forced to do it. They forced him to do it. They were like, you have the best voice. Yeah, I do have the best voice because I talk like this, and I need to talk about Triple H because I mean John Cena, because I'm the most objective person when it comes to talking about the GOAT. Triple H narrates a video on John Cena's career, talking about how he is the greatest of all time in a variety of ways. They're certainly pulling out all the stops with this and treating it like a huge moment. We had Joe Tessitore and Stephanie McMahon as our hosts for this Saturday night's main event. They did not want Jesse the Body Ventura with that responsibility, especially after the pre-show where Jesse the Body Ventura said, hey, that John Cena, he's a 17-time world champion. What they don't talk about is that if he's a 17-time world champion, he's lost the title 17 times. Way to bury the guy we're here to tribute, Jesse. I don't want Jesse Ventura. Either. Jesse Ventura should never change. Please never change.
I mean, this was the one worry I worried about with Jesse. I mean, I like it, but then it's like, bro, you sure you want to go back to WWE? The how filtered you are? It's not going to work out very well for a company that filters everything.
Exactly. But our opening contest is a huge one. Undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, goes up against NXT champion, the future Oba Femi. And Oba Femi, man, between SmackDown on Friday night and then last night, the crowd seems to immediately connect with him. They understand who he is. They understand why he's a star. They understand why he's been given this position, and they actually do the during his theme song. They were giving him the periods during his promo on Friday night. It's been real cool to see Oba Femi on the main roster stage. He was ready. He's been ready for the main roster stage. He should probably already be on the main roster stage, but here we are with a big matchup against Cody. Early on, it's all Oba Femi. He is dominant. Rhodes goes for a power slam. That is blocked. Femi knocks him down without much trouble. A clothesline to the back of the head drops Cody again, but he flips out at a belly-to-belly suplex attempt. Femi missed a charge into the ring post. Now the power slam works for Cody. He knocks Femi outside. He hits a tope suicida only to charge into a spine buster back inside the ring. Then we get Cody gets in his drop down uppercut that Femi blocked early with the choke, but gets knocked outside again. Femi gets a charge of momentum and he hits this running uppercut over the announce table to Cody. Whole bunch of momentum. Yeah, Cody's ear was bleeding after that. He back inside. Oba goes for a choke slam that only gets him a 2. Then we get Rhodes jumps over Femi. He hits him with a great looking Cody cutter, but he only gets a 2 count. Then Rhodes looks like he's going for another move as he's on the mat, but Drew McIntyre comes out of nowhere. He comes in to attack Cody Rhodes to cause a disqualification. WWE is calling this a no contest, even though this was a clear disqualification because he just attacked Cody. Post-match, though, Obafemi gets on Drew McIntyre. He pulls him off of Cody. He isn't happy about Drew getting in his business. Drew gets in his face, and Oba drops him on his ass by pushing him down. Cody then recovers. He hits Drew with a Cody cutter, and then Obafemi basically follows up with a big choke slam, laying Drew out. And then Oba and Cody, they shake hands, they raise each other's arms and raise their championships. But Oba gives Cody a look like, I don't think this is over quite yet. Thought this was pretty decent. I give it 2 3/4 stars. Not anything to kind of write home about, or not anything that I'm going to go out of my way to watch again. I thought that they did book Oba pretty well. I thought that he could have been a lot more dominant than he was. I understand you don't want to make Cody look completely weak, but Cody loses nothing if Oba would have dominated 7 of the 9 minutes that this match went on. And then at the end, Drew, when Cody makes his comeback, Drew comes in and attacks him, and that's how we get to the DQ. I think that could have been a little bit better, but otherwise, Oba has had a great experience the last couple of days on the main roster. So you got something out of this, even though the right results to get the most out of this is Oba winning, even if it would have been because of Drew interfering. There was a much better ways to get to this result.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought the match was okay. I thought they could have done more. Obviously, there's different reasons. You know, they're trying to make Cody look strong in a way. But at the same time, it's like, if that was the case, then should probably just put him against Ricky Saints or some shit, if that was the point. You know, but I thought it was okay. You know, obviously, there was a lot of them holding back. You know, because this match was more of an angle. It was more of an angle than like, oh, like we're gonna get Opa Femi, you know, against Cody. We were just getting an angle. That's all they really did. You know, Drew interfered. You know, the fact that they said it was a no contest and it was like, but he clearly attacked Cody. That's the funny part to me. I mean, okay, you say both guys, I guess. But it did do something for Oba. I think this kind of comes to a point where it's like maybe Oba should have been in the main roster already. You know, I thought, like I said, Friday night SmackDown, his promo was great. He looks, you know, he just looks like a star, honestly. His presence, yeah, everything about him just looks like a fucking superstar. Do I have any faith that WWE will push him to that extent? No. Unfortunately, I don't. But if they do, I hope it's something that I'm wrong about. Because he is that. But besides that, I mean, overall, okay match.
Yeah, okay match. Could have been better, but it was fine for what it was. Nate saying Triple H won't be beating those allegations if he fumbles Obafemi. This would be an all-timer. If he fumbles Obafemi, that's an all-timer. This guy just screamed, and he's an NIL talent. Like, this is a guy that you got from being a shot putter and made him into a pro wrestler, and he's just naturally just got it organically. He gets the presence. He's got the walk to the ring. He's got the cadence of his promos. He gets it on every level. In the ring, he's impactful. He's got all these high impact moves, shows off his power and his underrated speed sometimes. He checks all the boxes. If Triple H messes this up, they ain't no forgiving him after that.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, when he goes to the main roster, you know, like, it's the running joke of like, oh, is Oba gonna drop his accent? Like, I wonder if that's gonna happen.
We got evidence Jesse the Body Ventura was warning us. Yep, he was. It was like he's lost 17 times. Make it 18 tonight. The ruler, Oba. The future is the ruler. The future is Oba. The man.
He's like, he reminds me of M'Baku, but with the talent, because you know M'Baku always got his ass whooped to Black Panther. So
he's M'Baku with the character with the prop armor of T'Challa. We got here in the chat. We got Negro Ruckus saying the same thing. Oba looked great. Just wish he would have won. Cody wouldn't lose any steam losing to an absolute unit like Oba, in my opinion. Yeah. I agree with that. Mr. Town says, is Drew going to attack Oba on an NXT pay-per-view or one of the NXT TV episodes? You never know. It could definitely happen. They could definitely follow up on this in some way. However, the last time they had like a major interaction between like the main roster star and the NXT star was when CM Punk was the special guest referee for Ethan Page losing to Trick Williams on the CW premiere last October. And everybody thought that was going to get followed up on. And here we are 14 months later. And that was never followed up on. So you never know. It could go either way. We got here Pedro, who says Oba is $1 million talent. If he can't book him correctly, he honestly needs to be fired. Can't say you're wrong.
Don't try to say he has. Don't say that he has to be. Oh, talking about creative needs to be fired. I'm about to say that again. Don't say. Don't say that again. I'm about to say like, don't fire Oba for something that they're doing.
He's like, don't blame Oba for them. We got another super chat donation here from our good brother Evan Rogers once again. Thank you so much, Evan, for the support. He says, why did you kill the magic? It's like telling a young child Santa isn't real. Why? Yeah, they could have let us have the memory of Never Give Up Cena and just had him pass out.
I mean, that's a better thing because growing up for Christmas, I'll tell you a story. I was told that we celebrated Christmas because Santa Claus died, so we celebrate Santa Claus.
Not Jesus, Santa Claus.
I was told that when I was a kid. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I understood that. And I found out, like, no, he's just not a real motherfucker. I was like, wait, what? So I was like, so he's not even dead? He's not even real?
Santa, I thought Santa died. I don't understand.
I was like, so they just lied to me completely. Yo.
Goddamn liars. But yeah, they ruined Santa Claus for all those wrestling kids. We get various celebrities wishing Cena well, including Peyton and Eli Manning. Eli Manning getting in a dig on the Patriots. Snoop Dogg was smoking a blunt for his greeting as well. That's what my notes tell me. Then we see various legends are here to praise Cena. We see video and it's got The Rock. The Rock showed up in one of the videos. I was like, oh, The Rock made an appearance. Let's go. We got one with The Undertaker as well. We then get a graphic showing Cena's career stats: 17-time WWE World Champion, 1-time Intercontinental Champion, 5-time United States Champion, 4-time Tag Team Champion, Royal Rumble winner, a Money in the Bank winner, and it had been over 8,000 days since his debut in WWE 23 years ago on June 27, 2002. Then from there, we go to our second matchup. It is the woman getting a showcase as you got Bailey from Monday Night Raw versus NXT's Sol Ruka. And I say this is a showcase for the women, but this is a showcase for Sol Ruka because, wow, did Sol Ruka went out and just tried to impress the world on how good she really is. We get Lyra Valkyria and Zarya are here at ringside. A lot of people thought because Zarya was going to be at ringside for Sol Ruka that we were going to get some storyline development in their ongoing story. However, I kind of knew against that because I was like, this is a non-canon kind of show. This is being advertised as an exhibition. Why would you do a major storyline development for your show on this? Even though this one has more eyes on it, I didn't get the logic in that. But early on, Bailey goes after the arm of Ruka, but Ruka backflips into a ankle scissors to send Bailey into the corner. You could tell Bailey is a bit taken aback by the athletic mastery of Sol. Back in, Bailey tries to pick her up and can't quite get it to work, with Ruka being smart enough to reverse into a small package for a 2 count. This time, Ruka sends her outside for an awesome cartwheel moonsault to the floor, the Sake special. Bailey is basically rocked at this point. Bailey, though, she comes back. She gets a sunset flip powerbomb into the corner for a 2 count and then puts on a chin lock. Sol fights back, though. She hits some elbows and eventually hits this ridiculous looking top rope cartwheel DDT, which I'm just like, who even thinks about doing the stuff that she does? Like, I said this back when she first debuted in 2002. No one is more Rob Van Dam coded than Sol Ruka. Like, this is the stuff that Rob Van Dam got attention for because he did stuff you never saw in the ring, and that's Sol Ruka in 2025. You get Bailey. She hits the Bailey to belly. She gets a near fall on that as Sol's able to kick out. Then she ties Ruka into the Tree of Woe and hits her with a running elbow and gets 2 more. Then we get Ruka with a running knee. She gets a 2 count. Bailey blocks the Soul Snatcher and basically plants her right onto the mat. And then she hits the Rose Plant. However, she pulls back on the legs too far and Soul gets her foot on the rope. Bailey is pissed off. She lays in some grounded pound punches. She goes to the top rope. She goes for the Macho Man elbow, but Sol gets her knees up. And as Bailey is recovering from that, out of nowhere, she hits her with the Soul Snatcher. Bailey tries to roll out of the ring, but Sol is able to pull her back inside the ring. But that momentum allows Bailey to get in a Casadora roll-up, but Ruka is able to reverse the momentum. She gets the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory here. Sol Ruka gets the win. She is the only one from NXT who picked up a victory on this night, and a very impressive showing for Sol Ruka. That's your upset of the night, and boy, oh boy, did they really put a spotlight on how special Sol Ruka is, as she probably is the one that gained the most from the whole entire concept that went into this night of WWE NXT versus the main roster. I don't think anyone was further kind of like elevated themselves as far as people getting eyes on themselves and looking very impressive in doing so more than Sol Ruka last night. The match itself, I gave it 3.25 stars. I think it is slightly hurt by the fact the Soul Snatcher should be the fucking finish. Why are you allowing Bailey to recover from a Soul Snatcher to do a fucking stupid pin reversal pin? It should have been Soul Snatcher 1-2-3. Simple as that. Why do you always have to make everything so fucking cute for no reason? Josh, what did you think about this one?
I thought the match was actually really good. I thought it was better than the opening match. Because it was more of a showcase for Sol Ruka. You know, for me, I'm like, am I the biggest fan of Sol? Not really, but also because I haven't seen that much of her to say like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan. So I'm just being real about that. It has nothing to do against her. It's just I don't see enough of her. I see highlights and I see things that she's done. You know, like her finisher. I have like a love and hate relationship with the finisher. It looks cool, but then it's like you gotta do a whole flip, just do a cutter, like lady, like. But it looks cool, like it's for the pleasing eye. It looks really good. But I do agree that should have been the finish. Like because not only you did the move, she did the move, but you heard that pop when she did the move. That should have been the finish. So I thought that was a little weird. Like, Bailey, obviously the veteran, trying to roll out, trying to get out of the ring. But then Sol Ruka won anyway. So I was like, if she was going to win, just have the finish. It was a clean finish either way. Should have just done that.
Yeah. Like, I don't like any unnecessary stuff. Like, that just felt unnecessary because it was basically like Bailey recovered from the Soul Snatcher because she was able to get a pin attempt. Like, that was it didn't gain anything. Like you said, they just went right to the finish. You just reversed the pin in 1, 2, 3. So why the fuck did you do that? It's weird. We get here in the chat a whole bunch of people talking about Cena dying, and then we got Kanhono Ju, who says this match was pretty fun. I agree. Another new face in the chat. Good to see you. We got a real Negro Bug who says, I am so glad I bought my Sol Ruka stock as soon as I discovered who she was. She is so fucking good. This is another person Paul would be crazy stupid to fumble on the main roster.
I mean, honestly, he fumbled her name last night.
He did. So I'm going to give Sol the best advice I can humanly possibly give her. Because some of y'all probably don't even know this. So don't ever tell Triple H that you're half black. Please don't. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do it. Her father is black.
Yeah, if she brings her dad around, just say, hey, this is my friend.
It's my friend's dad. This is just my friend's dad. Like, we're really close. He's known me since I was very young. He knew me since I was born. He was in the room. Why was he in the room? Oh, no. I meant he was near the room. Rachel, who says, I cannot believe we have to endure another month and a half of build to Cody versus Tru again at the Rumble. And guess what? Randy will turn heel on Cody, which will explain his long absence. Oh, joy. I don't think they're gonna do it. I think they would be so dumb to do Cody and Drew at the Rumble. Maybe they do a title match on the first SmackDown of the new year, the first one that's gonna have 3 hours.
Yeah, I would say that's more of a. I think that's more of a prospect thing because going back to 3 hours, you need something premium to promote. Like Raw has been doing that for the first Netflix show of the year. They're doing that with the title match. So I think SmackDown could do a similar thing because I just don't. Drew's not winning either way. Don't make that a PLE. Like, just get this shit over with. Like, it's a feud I don't need to see. Like, I don't know why it's still going on.
Yeah, it's true. Clown mentioning that pretty sure Jack Cartwheel has done that DDT spot before. Yeah, he has. I just don't see him in the WWE ring doing it. Like I said, she does things that I don't see in WWE all the time. I can see it on the indies, no doubt. We see most things in WWE you can see on the indies or in AEW, but they don't see the cartwheel DDT, or they don't give Jack Cartwheel the opportunity to do that on main roster television, especially. We get Dion, who says, protect your finisher. Absolutely. Like, that was it was so dumb. We got King Greg saying Bailey Hogan kicking out of finishers. Imagine if fans started that, a Bailey Hogan. That would be like the stupidest thing ever, right?
It's like Bailey. Like, what do you mean Bailey Hogan? She wasn't even on the WrestleMania poster. You're going to call her Bailey Hogan?
I know. Greg is joking, but there will be a fan who actually thinks that. Like,
they're wrong with that shit. It's like, have you not seen that she's been losing? Like, she lost last night. What the fuck?
Triple H did fumble Sol's name. Yeah, indeed. He can't
he called
pronounce
Sal. He called her Sal.
Sal Ruka. We got I Make Beats. It says, yeah, people were moaning about Sol. I was about to say Sal. Sol. Did they learn that fact? Yeah, they probably did learn the fact that Sol has a black daddy. Yeah, Triple H better not find out. We need a Soul Ruka push. We got I make Beastie says Mike Bailey got the British Bailey chance on Collision. That popped me. It popped me too. The fact that they did, hey Bailey, ooh, hello, will you be my guy?
Oh boy,
Hey
I
Bailey.
I don't know if that's a chat I'll ever like say because man, oh, pause.
For Speedy, yes, I will. Speedy, he'll do it for him. He had the best in-ring week of anyone in wrestling, and probably anyone this year. Like the week that
That's a
he
fun
had
matchup.
between the Kevin the Jet Knight matchup and a match of the year candidate with Kyle Fletcher, he had a banger week.
Yeah, that was a fun matchup. That I
It
was
was.
like, yeah, I was able to watch it. I was like, oh shit, starting and then started like at 5 o'clock, so it was a good spot.
And it wasn't even the best match on the show because that Takeshita Claudio matchup, oh my god, that was like, oh, thank you, Lord, Claudio, you still have it in you. I've been having to deal with Jimmy McAram saying you're fucking done for a whole year.
Claudio's he's at where he needs to be at. Like he's a guy that's gonna give good performances. You know what you're getting out of him. What else do you want? Like he's not gonna be a world champion. So you utilize the guy, you use him to his strengths, and they've been doing that.
I'm more annoyed that Pinball Mike Bailey got the win over the Jet. Yo, he pulled out the Flamingo driver. He has not hit the Flamingo driver since the Indies. Like I was hyped. He pulled out the Ultimo weapon and Jet kicked out of the Ultimo weapon. Like that's a big deal. He kicked out an Ultimo weapon. He needed to hit the Flamingo driver to pick up the victory against the Jet. That was perfect how they did that. But yes, let's talk about this show. Unfortunately, I was getting excited talking about AEW. Sorry, guys. Post match, we get respect with everybody. Then we get some more wrestler tributes for Cena. We get various legends paying tribute to Cena. Other legends are in the crowd now, as we got Michelle McCool, Eve Torres, Sami Zayn with his son, Mark Henry, Rob Van Dam, and Trish Stratus. Then Michael Cole probably gives us the best tribute of the show, where he thanks various commentators who have called Cena matches over the years, shouting out the likes of Corey Graves, JBL, Taz, which was a big one where I was like, oh, that's awesome, shouting out Taz, because Taz and Cole were the voices, were the soundtrack of the first few years of Cena's career. And then most of all, he shouted out the legendary JR, Jim Ross as well. That was very classy. The most classiest thing WWE did last night was this to me.
I was surprised with that because I just thought Jim Ross wouldn't get mentioned. And I know, like, I think Jim Ross recently did an interview or they asked him, like, oh, are you going to go to Cena's last match or did they invite you or something? And, you know, he made it clear that he wasn't going, you know, but I know a lot of people were like, oh, you know, JR wasn't the voice of Cena anyway. But it's like, you know, he did call things for John Cena, but, you know, JR is more associated with Stone Cold anyway. But I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I thought.
But no, like, really think about it. Like, you know, we've been talking about it all week. And I think me and you, we kind of agreed on Edge being the greatest John Cena rival. That whole Edge and John Cena rivalry is Jim Ross. It's Jim Ross on commentary because that's what after he goes to Monday Night Raw. Cole and JBL are still on SmackDown doing their thing. So the entire Cena and Edge, them becoming top guys together in their feud, it's JR on commentary. And a lot of the early years of the Cena and Orton rivalry, when they feud in 2007, it's still JR on commentary. So JR is really the voice of the early top guy years of John Cena. John Cena, WWE champion, establishing himself, solidifying himself as the number one guy in the industry. It's JR's voice that is the soundtrack.
Yeah, you know, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like, you know, at least some kind of acknowledgement. You know, and it was so funny because the whole day people were having like this glimmer of hope of like, oh, it's gonna be you know, they're gonna show Edge, they're gonna show Edge. I was like, guys, it's not happening. Like, If you really follow behind the scenes of wrestling, you know why that wouldn't happen. Like, I just wish fans would be more aware of that instead of just feeling disappointed. Overly disappointed for something that legally wasn't gonna happen.
Dion, you will not get any arguments from either one of these guys. He says JR called the Cena return at 2008 Rumble arguably greatest Cena moment. No argument for me. Go check out our top 10 best John Cena moments, and you'll see why there's no argument at all. That is the GOAT. We got Sanjo, who says Jim Ross did call John Cena versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23 and Raw in London for almost 1 year. Yeah, you guys are telling. Like I said, it's like the first few years of Cena. Cena wins the WWE Championship in 2005 in March, and then he goes to Monday Night Raw in June of 2005. From June of 2005 all the way to June of 2008, it's JR on commentary of Monday Night Raw for all of the major Cena moments and matches until he gets moved to SmackDown in the summer of 2008 without WWE, of course, telling him because they love to fuck over JR. That was the story of his whole run with this company. Stephanie McMahon and Joe Testator talk about the show, and believe it or not, praise John Cena. I know, shocker. Then we get World Tag Team Champions, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee in a non-title matchup going up against WWE NXT's Javon Evans and TNA X Division Champion, the youngest in charge, Leon Slater. Right off the back, we get a quick start as the High Flyers hit a pair of drop kicks to the champions. Evans and Slater hit big dives to the floor. You get Evans with a no rope, no hands, Undertaker style dive, except he get way more air. Then you get Leon with his signature rope post flip dive to the outside on Dragon Lee. Back inside, we get a high cross body by Leon, and then Evans with a hell of a 5-star frog splash with Rob Van Dam in the front row, which was awesome. Lee, you can even see like Kurt Angle from this view with his mouth open as he's watching Leon Slater do that dive. Then you get a 2 count on the 5-star frog splash. Then Lee kicks his way out of the corner. We get a mischarge, sends Slater shoulder first into the ring post. Lee grabs a heck of a sit-out powerbomb to gain a momentum. It's back to Evans, who sends AJ Styles outside, but he misses a lion salt. Styles drives him into the barricade, and then Lee hits a Hurricane Rana on Slater into a Styles Clash attempt. Evans makes the save. Back inside, Evans hits the OG cutter on Styles, and he knocks him silly, setting up Slater's Swanton 450, where he over-rotated and freaking crushed AJ with it. That gets a near fall. Then you get Lee. He made the save on that one. He then hits a big running flip dive to take out the young OG. We get AJ is left in the ring with Leon. He goes for the phenomenal forearm, but he slips on the top rope. Great quick thinking by Leon, only 21 years old, but he was quick on his feet. He immediately goes for the cover, but that only gets him a 2 count. Back up, Styles counters a Hurricane Rana attempt from the top rope, and he reverses it into a Styles Clash for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory for AJ Styles and Dragon Lee here. A full throttle, all thriller, no filler matchup. This one went just over 5.5 minutes. Like, they gave them no time at all, and they arguably had, outside of, I think, of probably like Cena's final matchup, this is the best match on the show because it's all moves. It's moving like a video game, and it was awesome for the time that it went. I give it 3 3/4 stars. A hell of a way to just maximize all your time out there. But I really wish that this match got like 5 more minutes because it could have been something completely special. But it was special nonetheless for Javon Evans and Leon Slater with their big moment in front of probably the biggest audience that they have ever been watched in front of in WWE. So a hell of a fun matchup. What did you think?
It was a fun matchup. Like you said, for me, I wish it would have been longer because I felt like they could have done not only more, but then they would have kind of like spaced it out one more time. So because they only had like 5.5 minutes, it was like, all right, let's just go with everything. Obviously you have the right guys to do it. You have two young kids who are, not only talented, but they're super hungry when it comes to wanting to prove themselves, wanting to get opportunities. Leon Slater, obviously this was like probably a bigger moment because not only he's with TNA, but having a TNA talent on a WWE main roster kind of programming, that's a big deal. I just wish they would have pushed TNA a little bit more. I mean, obviously they were not going to do that. I'm like, damn, you got them the TV deal and you can't even like promote that. You can't even push that. Like, come on, guys. Like, I mean, I expected that though, but then obviously, if you notice, they did pin a TNA guy. So
of course,
TNA,
of course. Did you expect anything less? Come
TNA
on.
for you. The TNA for you. When I saw that, I was like, of course they pinned a TNA guy. I even told Wendy, like while I was watching it, I was like, of course they pinned a TNA guy. Even though I was laughing, but it was like, yeah. But I mean, overall, I thought the match was good for what it was, like what you could get. But it's kind of like, damn, you only giving the AJ Styles 5 minutes? Come on. What are we doing?
AJ Styles 5 minutes with these guys, with Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, and Leon Slater. You couldn't give them more?
Yeah, come on. He slipped on that rope. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's how you know they were going way too fast for old ass AJ. AJ is like, you guys gotta slow down.
Yeah, this is why I'm retiring.
Yep. He probably told everybody in the ring, this is why I'm retiring. I can't keep up with you young boys anymore. We got I Make Beats. He says this match got cut short. Man, this was gas. We got Nicky Boy, Negro Buck. He says, holy damn, this was amazing. All killer, no filler. I loved every second of it. We got I Make Beats, who says Dragon Lee deserves more respect from the crowd and WWE. If WWE gives him more respect, then the crowd will.
Yeah.
Works both ways. We got Negro Buck, who says the Swanton 450 is so crazy. We also got I Make Beast, who says AJ is allowed to botch. He's near flawless. Yeah, no one's gonna hold the slip up against him or anything, but it was noticeable.
Yeah, it was too noticeable. That's why it's like, but I mean, yeah, he doesn't botch as much. So I mean, obviously he's gonna get asked on that. But AJ, as a professional, will tell you for a fact, like, yeah, I should have gotten that. So,
yeah. Blame the ropes. Yeah, you can. We got another match that should have went on longer. Yeah, everybody like this matchup definitely should have got like 10 minutes, not like 5 minutes, like 10 minutes. Like, what do we do at the very least? We got Short King the Goat. He says jumping back on, but do we agree that Sting had the best retirement? It's not even a debate.
It's not.
Sadly.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Not even close. Like, it's not even a question. It's not even a question. We are definitely in agreement with that. But before we get into the John Cena retirement match, John Cena's final matchup, there was more stupid shit to do because we had to have some wrestlers thank John Cena for his contributions. We had to have more celebrities wish John Cena well, including Tom Brady. Then we get Joe Tessitore and Stephanie McMahon. They start getting emotional because there's only one match to go, and it is John Cena's final matchup. But we see somebody with a coat in the ring, and it's none other than The Miz. A ticked off Miz is in the ring to complain about how he was ignored during Cena's retirement tour. He said that he beat Cena in the main event of WrestleMania, and he is wearing the same gear that he wore on that night. He wants a matchup on the show, but instead he gets R-Truth running down to the ring in his full John Cena cosplay. R-Truth isn't happy with how the Miz cheated someone out of the tournament by switching the balls. And that name is right here. He has the ball that Nick Aldis picked from the tumbler before Miz traded out the names. Miz takes the ball from Truth. He opens it up and he reads the name and he says it very, very solemnly in the microphone. And he says, Joe Hendry? Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yes, Joe Hendry is here, and he is here on the main roster at Saturday night's main event for John Cena's final match. Miz is completely irate. He comes up swinging and is promptly get his ass handed to him. You get Joe Hendry hitting his signature fall-away slam into the kip-up, and then he does the turnaround with R-Truth beside him. Then they basically team up together and do a tribute to John Cena. They do a 5-knuckle shuffle where they hit both at the same time on the Miz. Then finally, you get Joe Hendry. He hits the standing ovation on the Miz, and R-Truth counts the 1, 2, 3. I guess Joe Hendry beat the Miz at Saturday night's main event. This was goofy fun. This was a fun little comedy segment involving two guys who were important for a section of John Cena's career and had notable rivalries with him, and someone who's been wanting to do something with John Cena since John Cena announced his retirement tour in Joe Hendry. So I'm happy for Hendry to get this moment, but otherwise I could have done without this if you give 5 minutes to the last match.
Yeah, this was just a waste of time. I didn't need it. Yeah, I mean, I will say though, Stephanie was a little corny when she was talking. Like some of the stuff that she was just saying, I was like, oh my God, like she's like, you know what, John, we could see you. Like, what are we doing? Like, he's not dying.
Cringe.
Like, what are we doing?
It's cringe. It was so cringe.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, what? Like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh. I was like, oh, yeah, that was rough. Yeah, but the whole Joe Hendry stuff, I mean, it's just like, I guess, like, people were saying, like, oh, I wouldn't mind this tag team for R-Truth and Joe Hendry. Will that get some pops and funny stuff? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but do I necessarily really need it? No. Sorry, not for me. I like comedy stuff, but it's just, I don't need it. I really don't need it.
Seems like a lot of people did not enjoy this too much.
It was like, it was just a waste of time.
They needed a palate cleanser. You know, they just saw a great matchup, needed a palate cleanser and see comedy.
And then Joe did his two main moves. He did the fall away slam and his move. That, like, okay, cool. Like, that's what we got. Yeah.
Dion says this had to be a John Cena call to get Joe Hendry on the show. I can't see Triple H liking this guy. I mean, that is true. Like this, Joe Hendry doesn't scream Triple H guy. That's for sure.
He's not. If R-Truth is not a Triple H guy, Joe Hendry is sure as hell is not a Triple H guy.
We got Dion in this drunk Auntie Stephanie, wine mom Steph, and then we got Negro Buck who says Steph just oozes corny white woman energy.
Yes, it was like, oh boy, like she's showing it more and more. Like as she's gotten older, I'm like, oh.
So this is something that I was trying to get straight. So maybe you guys missed the preview or even yesterday when I talked about it on the flagship podcast. But Sajo is making the same mistake that several wrestling websites did. That match was not for the World Tag Team titles, ladies and gentlemen. They never announced it for the World Tag Team Championships. They never had a graphic that said it was for the World Tag Team Championships. They never raised the titles to indicate it was a title matchup. That was not, it was non-title, guys. It was non-title. A lot of wrestling websites took the fact that the tag team champions were in this matchup as it being a title match, and it wasn't.
Yeah, and then also when they do a title match, they announced the competitors in the ring and then they pull up the belt. That didn't happen. Everybody got announced before they got to the ring. And I noticed that because they did introduce Leon Slater as the TNA X Division champion. And that's how I noticed it. So it wasn't a tag title match.
Yeah. We get a bigger John Cena tribute with various wrestlers paying tribute, doing the Cena pose and motion, and Drew McIntyre has to be convinced to do it while Brock Lesnar holds up a sign without looking at the camera, and then Roman Reigns does the salute to wrap up an awesome tribute, and it's time. The ring general Gunther is here, and he is not popular at all. He gets boos heavily as he comes out to the ring. In a great touch, the video board behind him plays a bunch of his looks from over the years for Cena. As Cena comes out, Cena also steals the camera from Stu, whose real name is actually Tom. His name is Tom Stewart, and they just call him Stu. Disrespectful. You're calling him based on his last name. You've been fooling us this whole time. Cena also goes over to see various legends and wrestlers at ringside. When he comes down, we get a nice moment where you see him hugging Haku and Booker T and Elijah and Trish Stratus and Rob Van Dam and Mark Henry. Nick Khan is there as well. Then he gets the biggest pop of anybody that he greeted was Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens got a big pop as he's still recovering from neck surgery. He also greeted Sami Zayn and his son. And then we get the intros. He gets a big reaction for the intro, the Never Seen 17, the greatest of all time. Then the match starts. We get a lockup that goes nowhere. Gunther bails to the apron. Back in, Gunther knocks Cena down and gets some early stomps in. Cena is able to fight back. He hits a big, we get a big clothesline by Gunther to put Cena down, but then Cena pulls him in to an STF, but that's quickly broken up. Gunther drop kicks him into the corner. We get a power bomb that plants Cena, and then a big clothesline knocking him down again. Cena's able to pop out an AA out of nowhere and gives him a 2 count as the fans are disappointed by the kick out. We get all the greatest hits from Cena early on in this one as he gets the shoulder block. He gets the "You Can't See Me," but Gunther reverses an AA attempt. We get a chop to the back that staggers Cena, and then he goes for a sleeper, only for Cena to reverse into one of his own. Gunther uses the legs to make it to the ropes and knock Cena outside, where he puts Cena on the steel steps near the announce table. We get them fighting it out, jockeying for position until freaking Gunther is finally up on the stairs with Cena, and he gets him up, but Cena reverses. He gets Gunther into a quick AA, putting him through the table. We see all the legends at ringside celebrating this, very hyped up at this moment. Back in, Gunther kicks out after Cena goes for the cover. Then Cena goes up top, and he hits his flying leg drop, that ugly move that he always does. He hit that, only gets him a 2 count. He then basically connects with a 5-knuckle shuffle, and then he hypes up the fans, and he says that they're going to do one more 5-knuckle shuffle, the last 5-knuckle shuffle ever. But before he's able to hit it, Gunther plants him and hits him with a big boot. Cena catches Gunther on top, and he hits him with a super AA, but Gunther kicks out at 2. Both men are down. Another AA is countered into a power bomb. Then Gunther goes up top. He hits the top rope splash. That only gets him a 2 count. He goes and he locks on the sleeper. Cena is fighting up, only to get pulled down. Cena gets up again, and Gunther jumps on his back. Cena drives him into the corner for a break, but then quickly he gets a reversal, and he gets a sleeper on Gunther until Gunther makes it to the ropes. Then we get Gunther, he locks back on the sleeper, and then Cena is able to hit a quick AA, and he's only able to get a 2 count. Just as Cena's recovering after the near fall, Gunther, like a python, locks back on his arms for like a 3rd or 4th time. He puts the sleeper back on again. Cena's still up. He's still trying to fight. We get "Don't give up" chants. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. That's good enough to get Cena to get his arm up as it was about to drop for the third time as he was locked in the sleeper. Gunther then, as Cena powers up, gets to his knees. It looks like Cena's going to make one more attempt at the comeback. Gunther powers him down with hammer and anvil elbows until he locks back on the sleeper. It's on. Cena seems like he has no escape, and we just see a smile go over Cena's face as he realizes he is content with his fate, and he finally gives up. Cena taps out very softly, very monotonely, and you hear the crowd just with a gasp, with boos, as Gunther has made John Cena for the first time in 20 years since John Cena gave up in a matchup, and Gunther got it done. Gunther made him give up. He gets the victory easily, the biggest victory of Gunther's career, as he has retired the GOAT, the last real champion, John Cena. Gunther gets plenty of heat as he walks out. Cena is left in the ring as he basically reflects. He sits on the ring. The fans are kind of booing a bit, but they still are kind of like trying to give Cena his moment. We see Cena gets up. He kisses the mat. He says that he left it all for the people. Cue the locker room as the locker room comes out, and you just immediately hear boo. Even louder than the reaction to the finish was the boos when the locker room comes out, and this fucking dude looks behind him. Triple H is leading the way for the locker room, and he is the one who is getting booed, and he looks behind him like, who's getting booed? Who's getting booed? It can't be me. Then we see Cody and CM Punk. They have the World Heavyweight Championship and WWE Championship, respectively, and they hand it over to Cena. They say, since you're the last real champion, here you go. They put the championships on his shoulder. Everyone is surrounding the ring. Cena holds up both titles as basically Punk and Cody basically force him to go around all four corners and pose with both titles one last time. And then he basically gives it back to them. So it's kind of like a pseudo passing of the torch as he gave the titles back to the current champions. Then you get freaking Paul Levesque. Triple H gets on the apron, and you just hear the most thunderous boos you will ever hear in life, to the point all red-faced, all laughing. Triple H has to smile as he hugs Cena because he knows that he is dampening this moment for Cena just a little bit because the people hate him for the result. They hate him for how we got here. But Triple H has something special for Cena. He cues up a video package, a last tribute for Cena. We see a video with Cena career. We includes comments from his mother, who we don't really see all that much in these video packages like that. We even get an old comment from Vince McMahon to really show how special this is. With the video over, Cena then takes a bow. He takes off his shoes. He takes off his wristbands, his armband, and he leaves it all in the ring. We get one last bow and one last salute as the career of one of the greatest of all time, one of the biggest stars in wrestling history, and definitively the biggest star in pro wrestling of the last 20 years, John Cena, has put it all away. He's ended his career in the only way possible, very selfless way to close out one of the all-time greats' career. So John Cena left it all in the ring. So did Gunther. I gave this matchup 4.5 stars. I think storytelling wise, this is one of the best storytelling matches of the year for WWE. The simplicity, the effectiveness of just a story of resilience of Cena never giving up, regardless how many times Gunther locked on the sleeper, but also the resilience of Gunther and the relentlessness of Gunther to keep locking it on. And those sleeper attempts were just so well done and so much drama to them. Probably the most drama you will get out of a sleeper spot was in this matchup. Superb job by both men. They left it all in the ring, and they showed us two pros putting on just a fantastic story overall. In a vacuum, the match is perfection. It's just the build and everything around it with the post match and Triple H's reaction that kind of put a damper on last night.
Yeah, I agree. The match was actually great, and I even said it on the watch along. I was like, "Yo, I thought that was actually a great match." I mean, I knew it was gonna be great because Gunther, he works well with almost anybody, and I knew, regardless of how people felt, because even going in this last match, people were just like, "Oh, why is it Gunther? Why is it Gunther the one facing him?" And I told people, I was like, "Yo, at least with Gunther, you're gonna get a good performance. Like, you're gonna get the right guy that's gonna work with him in his last match." That's more of what I wanted. I didn't want like another person that would be just like another like somebody that he's not gonna work well with. I prefer Cena to go out like on, at least he would look good, and I thought he did for the most part. Obviously, I know like we were making fun of him yesterday because like obviously like when he did that sleeper hold, man, he was not locking that shit in. I was like, bro, like this is your last match. At least try to do that. Like I could see why you never do choke holds, but
his sleeper is worse than his STF. Damn, that's crazy.
It is, and that's what made it funny. But I just thought the match itself, like, not only was a good match, but like they did tell a good story in the match where Cena was dealing with adversity. People getting behind him. You had "Don't Give Up" chants. When have you ever heard of Cena "Don't Give Up" chants? Like they use like his slogan for a match. Like that's crazy to me. And then he did the "You Can't." He said he did it like what, like 3 times. I was like, when does he do that 3 times in a match? But I thought overall the match itself was great. Like I thought like the way honestly this would have been so fucking perfect. Like I said, if you would have had a scenario where Cena was winning every match, he was looking good, winning every match, and then he loses. I thought that would have been the way to go out. But the fact, like you said, you had him lose to Brock the way that he did, and then he still got that L from Dom, at least for me. It's just one of those things where I'm like, damn, it's the lead up. And I think the fan reaction, the fans being upset, I just think is a combination of everything. I think it was realizing we didn't have a great retirement tour. You could have done something right and then you chose not to. I think that's just more what it was. I think it wasn't just because it was the result. I think it was a combination of everything that we got throughout this year. And I think people are just frustrated now because we kind of did see brewing. We did kind of see people getting kind of tired of Triple H over the last few months. But I think last night it was just more of like, you know what? Fuck this. Like the mask was off completely. And, you saw that last night, people want to play dumb. They could play dumb. Oh, I don't understand why they're booing him. I was like, well, if you haven't been paying attention, then that's on you. Because I could see why people were booing him. People weren't booing him just for the result, in my opinion. They were booing him because of everything we've gotten leading up to last night.
Agreed. That's what I said on social media. I was like, people want to make it. People like I had people arguing with me. I think I showed you guys. People like arguing, being like, "Well, are you saying that that if the heel turn was booked better, they would have cheered that result?" I was like, why are you saying something that I didn't say? I said people are not understanding why fans are upset with Triple H. I don't think that anyone is confused on why the fans are upset about that result. But the result got less boos than Triple H. Like, why do certain fans not get that point? Like, they're just ignoring that fact. And then they'll say, I'm not ignoring that fact while ignoring that fact. People are.
Oh yeah, they completely just brush over it. They'll say something and then it's like, you just didn't really respond to what I said. You're just making it about something else. And I saw a lot of that yesterday, especially like I know, like I think it was another post or the same post where you wrote something about about the AEW chants. You're like that Triple H was rattled. You know, he had the AEW, and then he's been rattled the whole time. Somebody was like, "Where do you say that he's rattled?" Like, you know, I was like, are you not fucking paying attention to the same thing that we're watching? This man is completely rattled to the point that even when they asked him, like they had to get away from that. They had to navigate it to the point that Big E was like, "Hey, you know, but you know, we saw like the future of the company. We saw people from NXT. What did you think about that?" And then you saw him like trying to scramble what he wanted to say about Oba, and then he said this girl's name wrong. Like he had to scramble to what he had to say, because not only the noise was getting to him, but then it was like, damn, like I have to answer all this stuff. Like I had to, but you know, the only thing that benefits Triple H when it came to that is like, you know, he's getting, this is not even a real fucking panel. All of it is script. It's not, you're not going to get these guys to ask you the real hard hitting questions because you're the one, because, you know, the company's paying them. This is not like ESPN. ESPN, that would have been different. The analysts would have asked you the direct, hard questions like, what made you make this decision to have Cena lose? Like, you see the reaction. What made you have that decision? You know, and then again, the biggest gripe that I have with his take about the tradition, he is right when it comes to tradition. He is right about like, oh yeah, you know, when somebody retires, the tradition of wrestling is for that person to lose. That's what we got accustomed to doing. We got accustomed to that. The problem is that you want to push this whole idea of tradition when you, Triple H yourself, you've broken tradition already. You've made it very clear that WWE is not pro wrestling. You made it very clear that WWE has writers. You made it very clear that you're the one that makes the decisions. You made it very clear that you're the one that decides who wins or loses, who gets a big push, who doesn't get a push. And then now it's, oh no, we're falling on tradition. Like that's what we're falling on. Every single time you had an opportunity to, you know, to go away from that, you didn't shy away. You didn't shy away from that. The fucking first episode of Netflix, you made it very clear, hey, this is a story about, you know, like we're writers, and we're, you know, it's about the faces versus heel, bad guys versus good guys, and all this. Now all of a sudden you're following tradition. Now all of a sudden you're doing that. That's the problem that I had with that. It was just kind of like very dumbfounding for me, because it's like you're the fucking guy who's broken. Like you killed kayfabe yourself. When it comes to people want to talk about killing the business, WWE's done that, and in their own ways. You have a fucking show called Unreal where you show what you're doing behind the scenes. What are you talking about?
Yep. And yeah, it's just the lack of self-awareness or the inability to see themselves is kind of crazy. We do have a super chat donation, a few here. First from Call Me Mr. Banda, who says, December 14th, 2025. Guess what? Joe Hendry is still a bum. Mr. Banda, if one thing Mr. Banda gonna do, he gonna hate on old wrestlers and Joe Hendry. I appreciate the consistency. We always appreciate consistency here on this channel. Just want to let everyone know, if you are consistent and we can count on you to always do this, like Call Me Mr. Banda, you're going to make a name for yourself here, kid. This is the territory for you. I saw we had a good comment here from Rachel that I said earlier. Oh, yeah, this was a question. She said, I respect Cena, but he is the reason I stopped watching wrestling. Once Bryan got injured in 2014, I was completely done. Where do you guys rank him all time? And what is your top 10 objectively in WWE? Rachel, funny enough, I actually have an article that could tell you all of that. It's on SI. It's the top 20 best WWE wrestlers of all time. Where I would rank Cena, I rank Cena number 4 all time in WWE. As far as all time throughout wrestling, he'll probably be a little bit lower, but he's definitely a top 10 guy. Top 10 guy all time. You don't have that catalog of great matches like we talked about yesterday on the flagship podcast when we did the King of the Hill for his best matches. And mind you, we did a King of Hill where I pretty much was naming like all of his best matches from multiple years, like in consecutive, and like in order. And I missed out on the Umaga Last Man Standing match at Royal Rumble 2007. So even me naming like 100 different great John Cena matches, I've missed one because he has that many, and he has iconic promos. He has iconic rivalries. He has to be in the top 10 overall, and he's number 4 for me in WWE. There's only 3 guys that I can say or like had a higher peak. I don't think even those 3 guys had the longevity of Cena, or that as important. Maybe like these 3 are as important as Cena, but don't have that longevity. Their peak on top is very short in comparison to Cena. But the 3 guys that I have on top of him is Austin at number 1, Hogan at number 2, Rock at number 3. That's the only 3 I can legitimately say have a better argument of being the greatest of all time in WWE history.
Yeah, and to your point, I also think that it's a little bit different because, when Stone Cold came up and, Stone Cold became like the guy that he became. Stone Cold did have a career before WWE. The Rock himself didn't really have a career before WWE. He was trying to get into football, and then that didn't work out. And then all he really knows is WWE. Hulk Hogan, he had his time at different promotions. But obviously, WWE being what it was and Vince buying the talent, that's how Hulk Hogan got into where he was at. So with Cena, it's just so much different now because Cena, he was a factory of somebody that they created. Like they could brag about that. Like, hey, like he was one of our own. Like we had him, in OVW. Like we developed him and we brought him in and we created him. Like this is our creation. You know what I mean? Like from the ground up. Like, and he did it for 23 years. So I mean, that's something that they could brag about when it comes to his longevity. I think what it is with Cena too, a lot of people kind of look at the bad too much. So that's all people really remember. Like, oh, Cena was bearing talent. He was doing this and that. So they kind of ignore everything. Where yesterday when we talked about it, I was like, yo, you see, if people want to talk about Cena having bad matches, we just did a whole Kingdom of Hell full of great John Cena matches. So I'm like, you can't knock his talent. I mean, the man, he worked. And some people might not have been in favor for him for years, but when you really look back at it and you dissect his career, he had a lot of great matches, and he probably had a lot of great matches better than a lot of top people. So I mean, he deserves a lot of credit when it comes to like all-time list. It's just his overall impact too. Everything he's did. I mean, he's either top 10. I mean, top 5. Like for like, there's really no arguing that.
Yeah, I think he's top 4 WWE on a WWE all-time list. Top 10, like all time in wrestling. Top 10, top 15. I can make the argument for Cena for sure. We got a couple of other super chat donations here. We got Evan Rogers once again with another super chat donation. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, guys. You guys have been awesome today. Evan saying 1 star. Honestly, this isn't Flair versus Shawn. I'll be honest with you, Evan. I thought this was the better wrestling match between this and Flair and Shawn. Flair and Shawn had better storytelling, though. The storytelling in Flair and Shawn was off the charts because it's 2 of the best in-ring storytellers of all time, even with Flair at 60 years old. But the in-ring action, I think, was better in Gunther and Cena. But we're all entitled to our opinion. Evan says he had 4 moves and they all look bad. Some of those AAs did look dangerous. Like the AA off the steps into the table. Like I thought Gunther was going to hit his head on the stairs.
Yeah. I actually thought he did hit it. But I mean, yeah, he's entitled to his opinion. And, he did give us some super chats. So I do appreciate that. Believe me, in John Cena's environment, this is easily one of his best matches. This is probably his second best match. Probably second, maybe even first. That's all I will say when it comes to that.
We got another super chat donation from Dion. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. He says, question for Josh and SP3. I noticed y'all enjoy WWE less and less. What would get y'all to stop watching completely? Dion, if I did not do this. I think honestly, Dion, and this is me being 100% honest. 2017, August 2017, we started this podcast. I think at that point, I wanted to stop watching WWE. I think when we started this podcast, I wanted to stop watching WWE because you have to realize WWE in 2017 was way worse than this. It was Jinder Mahal, WWE champion. It's some of the most nonsensical, stupid booking decisions you will ever see. And it only gets worse in 2018. It only gets worse in 2019. So, like, my first 3 years of doing podcasts and doing a YouTube channel, Dion, I wanted to stop watching WWE. So I have realized throughout 8 years of doing this, if I wasn't doing it, I would have stopped watching WWE a long time ago.
As far as for me, I still watch WWE for numbers of reasons. One is mainly because of the wrestling content. I think if I want to give real takes, if I want to give my real opinions, I rather watch something and give my real takes off of that, than to just shit on something that I'm not watching. You know what I mean? Like, I want to give fair takes, fair criticism to what I watch. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And if somebody wants to complain, like, oh, all you do is complain, it's like, shut the fuck up. It's like, I do fucking commentary. If I'm going to talk shit, I'm going to talk shit of something that I'm actually, at least I could back it up. I'm not going to make some shit up and just talk shit. I always think it's a little weird when people do that, especially when in regards to like AEW. People will admit, oh, I haven't watched AEW for months or weeks. But then it's like, you always have an opinion. So why are you talking about it? You know, it's just weird. That's part of it. And two, you know, like, I do support talent. You know, like, I support talent first, you know, and sometimes they do have something good, something, whatever the case may be. As far as what will it take for me to stop completely watching, honestly, I don't know. Maybe something major drastically would have to like really turn me off. That would make me stop. But the reason why I don't want to say that I enjoy it less and less, it's just that I'm more critical with WWE, and I've been saying this, and I'll say it as many times as I need to say it. When you're a company that wants to tell me that you're the best to watch, you're the best wrestling show to watch, or whatever the case may be, you're the best, we're the hottest brand, and then you kind of just give anything less than that, obviously I'm gonna be more critical. It's like every year with the Yankees, it's a championship or bust. So people are more critical on the Yankees when they don't win the championship. Same thing. That's how I view WWE. When you go out, you overly advertise your shows, and your shows are subpar, like a C-level graded show. How is that great? You're supposed to be the best company around. How is that supposed to be great? That's just where I stand with WWE. I don't hate WWE. I don't hate it, just because I think that's a strong word. I think that's a strong word to like try to hate something. I always want companies to do better. Even TNA. I don't hate TNA. I just want TNA to do better. You know, and as long as wrestling is around, that means more opportunities for people, more jobs for people. People like Sid and I get to talk about wrestling as long as wrestling is going. So it's just those things where I just want WWE to do better. Just fucking do better with your shit.
There's certain things in WWE I've enjoyed a lot this year, like Io Sky and the rise of her, and her whole rivalry with Rhea Ripley. You know me, if you guys don't remember, at the beginning of the year, I was one of the first people on wrestling media that was bigging up Naomi and Naomi turning heel. I got all that heat on social media when I said Naomi just cut the best heel promo of the year when she cut that promo revealing that she was behind the attack on Jade Cargill. Like it's been mostly the women, don't get me wrong, from WWE, but I've enjoyed a lot of stuff from WWE. Am I enjoying it less and less? Because I think that it coincides with the fact that WWE is not hiding who they really are anymore. They're making it more known. Yeah. Thus, I have to be more critical of WWE because of that. I think that is what it is. I don't think that it's me enjoying WWE less and less. There's still stuff that I enjoy. I was praising to the woo-ha's about Braun Breaker's promo 2 weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. So I still enjoy a bunch of stuff. I was praising the Boston and Madison Square Garden episodes of Raw. I enjoy WWE. I'm not enjoying it less and less. WWE is showing us who they are more and more. That's what it really is to me.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point, because man, especially when you want to, even when you go to like the political concept of it, it's like, I think that's been a big turn off. It's not gonna, again, people have their politics, and if I wanted to cut everybody off based off their politics, guess what? I probably would have not many friends. So I try to be more forgivable on that. I try to be more like understanding of that. But when you're a company that tries to play both sides of the fence, or like, oh no, we're not like this, we're not going to do that, and then you kind of show otherwise, it's a big turn off.
Yeah, because I was a guy who was on here 7-8 years ago. Like Negro Buck in the chat can attest to this. I used to say on like nearly every podcast, I was like, WWE don't care what we say. WWE don't care what Top Guy JJ say, what Miss Chrissy Love, what I say, what Jock say, what Romeo says. They just care about the bottom line. If they make money, that's a success. Last night was a success. Don't matter if the fans booed him, told him he fucked up, told him we want Vince. He got their money already. He won. That's what they care about. And more this year, they're showing us that's the only thing they care about. And that's what's led to more critical thoughts and more critical discussions about what WWE is actually putting out there quality-wise. Evan with a super chat donation here, who says, the more I think about it, the more pissed I get. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Evan. We are here. We are here. We're gonna be here for you. You said I haven't seen you before in the live chat. Well, welcome. You now have found a family in your wrestling fandom where we will always find a way, Evan, to let you laugh at the situations WWE puts us in. Because when you really think about it, it's funny. It shouldn't piss you off. It pisses me off a lot, and I'll do rants, but then I just laugh at it because it's like, this company is so unserious. It's so unserious. The wrestling business in general is so unserious. But yes, we've come to an end for this review, Josh. So we got to get our ratings up, and we want to know from you guys. If you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below. What was your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, your moment of the night? Whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? Same for everyone in the live chat. And final call for super chat donations. I want to thank Evan and Dion and Call Me Mr. Bonda and Andrew and Negro Buck. And you guys have been awesome today. This is like the most super chats we got in a few live streams. So we appreciate y'all for that. But final call for super chat donations, and let us know your ratings. But for me and Josh, for WWE Saturday Night's Main Event 2025, the final of the year, in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Josh, out of 10, what did you give the show?
For me, I thought it was honestly, I thought the show was like a 7.5. I thought the showcases for the NXT talent, I thought they did very well. Oba, obviously we could have gotten more out of the opening match, but I do feel like Oba could be somebody. I think that kind of showcase of like he could be, if you want to put the meat behind him, he could be a top guy in the company. Both ways. You can make money off of him. He could be a draw. I think he proved that. Soul had a great performance. Despite the finish, she still had a great performance. And then, the two young kids, Javon Evans, I've been critical on Javon Evans more so because, he's still an immature kid when it comes to like certain things that how he comes off, but he's a good talent. He's good in-ring talent that I think deserves more. Even I don't care if you're 22, 23. If you have somebody who's good, you should be using them no matter what. Strike while the iron is hot. Leon Slater, another great kid. He got a great opportunity on one of the biggest stages that probably the biggest stage he's ever been, period. So, I mean, that's why I give it a grade that I do. Also, I mean, Cena and Gunther, that was actually a good match. It was actually a great match, in my opinion. No matter what, if you take out all the circumstances, I thought that was a great worked match. Both guys did what they had to do. And I thought the ending of the match was, I honestly thought, like, if we had a better build-up, like we said, like a better lead-in, that's a perfect ending, right? People didn't like the fact he smiled and it tapped out. I thought that was great because you're telling the story of like, Cena is done. Like, he's out. Like, he's checked out. So besides that, I thought that was a great match.
Yeah, there was a lot of positives from the show. That's why I went thumbs up. Out of 10, I was leaning towards like an 8 out of 10, but you know what? You're probably right. Like 7.5 seems right because like I thought that we had 3 good matches on the show. I thought the only one that wasn't really what I would call good or hit the standard of good was the opener, but still you made Obafemi look strong throughout. So yeah, 7.5 seems like a very fair score for this show. Match of the night, I'm going with John Cena's final match against Gunther.
Oh, match of the night for me too. Main event. Cena versus Gunther.
MVP for the show, I will go with let's go with Sol Ruka, Gunther, and Cena.
I'm gonna give it to MVP. I'm gonna give it to Oba and Cena.
LVP for the show.
that laugh says it all.
Paul Triple H Levesque, terrorizing the King of Kings, the cerebral assassin, the fraud of all frauds, Triple K, Triple H, LVP.
Oh, he's easily my LVP. And it's crazy because on X, one of the trending terms was triple fraud. That was funny.
Yo, I had somebody tell me, like in one of my comments for one of my posts last night, they was like, "Oh, the reaction online is different from how it was live," and I was like, "Nigga, what? No, it wasn't. It was the same. Like people, I put Triple H. I put Triple H immediately after I saw that comment. I put Triple H in my search on Twitter, and all it was slander on Triple H. Like, dude, it was everybody's reaction was the same. That's because you scrolled your timeline. If you scrolled your timeline and you didn't see slander of Triple H, you need to work on your timeline. You have a bad timeline. You got a timeline full of
it's just
people who were very forgiving for what he did last night.
Yes, and I could tell there was a lot of pro WWE fans who hated the result. Like, not only they hated the result, but they were going in on Triple H because they were even laughing at him at the post show. So I don't know. People are trying to say, "Oh, I didn't see it." I was like, "No, you're just fucking ignoring it." Like, and there's people who generally just they do that because they're such a big Triple H fan that they're just not. They don't see the bad. They just try to look because they want to defend. Guess what? Your favorite the guy doesn't fucking like you. Triple H doesn't fucking like you, so you could just say when he's bad. Just say when he's fucking bad. All right? He doesn't like you. He doesn't even know that you exist. Just fucking defending him. And then maybe you saw him in a meet and greet. Sure. He don't give a fuck about you. Just say when he's bad, just say he's bad. What the fuck? Just say that.
King Gray says, pacemaker screwed peacemaker.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
This is like, oh man.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo. Oh shit. That cop. Oh my god. Man, that would have been like a super. That would have been the greatest super chat we got this year, man. Yo.
For a moment of the night, a moment of the night. Oh, yep, shit. It is Triple H getting booed. That's the moment of the night. It should be Cena smiling at the end before he taps out, but no, it is Triple H getting booed out the building.
Oh, 100%. Triple H getting booed out of the building. He's on the top row, but they fucking late, man. Holy shit. You would think that was like LeBron coming back to like Cleveland when he was in Miami. Holy shit. That was nuclear. I was like, at first, honestly, like when he came out and he got booed, I just like it was funny. But then I'm like, nah, like I'm pretty sure they probably get over it. As soon as he got that rope, oof. I was like, man. And then even after like the clips I was seeing, they said, fuck you, Hunter. I was like, oh shit. I was like,
we want Vince. They went so far as to say, we want Vince. That was crazy. Oh man, what an indictment on Triple H.
Gunther got heat too. Gunther got heat too.
I saw Gunther got heat. Yeah, got heat outside the building. But
it was like at that point, it's like
he's able to hold on to that.
Yeah, at that point, it's like I know people are gonna try to compare it to like "It's My Yard" now. I don't think it's gonna be that. It could be that, and I think that the fans might manifest it to that. But it's nothing compared to like there's what we saw last night was a combination of Triple H always wanted to put the spotlight on himself. And guess what? He got the spotlight. He got what he wanted. He got exactly what he wanted. He wants all the praise. This man wants all the glory, all the praise. But the moment you criticize him, we saw it back at the WrestleMania press tour. You saw how he is. So now, you know, because even yesterday when Romeo brought up like, oh, I respect Triple H because he was out there and he got booed. And I was like, no, I respect Triple H if he took it on chin. If he acknowledges what happened and he's like, you know what? Yeah, like I got to eat this. Like I got to stand by my decision. He didn't do that. So I was like, how am I going to fucking respect him for that? He's just trying to shit on the fans saying like, oh, I thought you guys were going to be louder.
That's why I was like, that's how I always was making the sarcastic comments every time Romeo was like, yeah, I give Triple H credit. I was like, oh, yeah, that's very surprising. You would give Triple H credit. Yeah, you've never done that before when he didn't deserve it, like ever. But anyway, we've come to the end of this review here, and we want to say, last of all, thank you, John Cena. Left it all in the ring. He did what he needed to do on this retirement tour. It's unfortunate that the company did not meet him there. But Josh, we've come to the end of our WWE Saturday Night's Main Event review. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media and any final words you
got. You can follow me, JMPunk321 on X and Instagram. You can also follow me on YouTube on my channel, JMPunk321. I posted a clip from our top 10 Cena moments on there yesterday. You could check that out. And then also I did post up the clip where I think it was Jaquan who posted it. I posted up the clip where everyone chanted F you Hunter. So go out, check that out, give it a like and all that good stuff. And I'll be back next Saturday for the next TH8 podcast.
And there you have it. Go over there, check it out. And of course, check out all the great content we got on True Hill Heat right now. We got that top 10 best John Cena moments where me and Josh went through our top 10 favorite or best John Cena moments throughout his career. A very fun video. Go over and check that out. Check out me and Josh, along with special guest Max, yesterday on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast, where we talked about AEW and the Continental Classic heating up. We talked about all everything going on, heading into John Cena's final matchup, including Brock Lesnar possibly being next to retire in 2026. So check all of that out. And over at patreon.com/True Hill Heat, we got our Ring of Honor Final Battle 2025 review, where I broke down the latest pay-per-view from ROH. So go over to Patreon right now and check it out. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSB3. You can follow the gang Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought about WWE Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match, and what you thought about our review here. And what did you think about Triple H getting booed out the building? We want to know from you. Let us know in the comments. I'll be back live on Tuesday at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time for Rated Raw Review. We'll have a THH cut. We'll have some few stuff dropping on the channel throughout tomorrow and tonight. So check that out as well. And thank you so much for all the support for this John Cena final match week that we did here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Appreciate y'all so much, and appreciate all the new faces, all the new subscribers that we got this week as well. For Josh, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our WWE Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match review. We are signing off until next time.